As we get ready to close out 2024, 2025 is coming, the Trump inauguration is coming, and then 4 years of what is going to be some wild times. We're quickly realizing that Republican problems are only just beginning. We've started to see over the last couple of weeks the cracks. We've seen a cult with two leaders, Trump and Elon Musk, which rarely works well. We saw MAGA versus MAGA violence at Turning Point USA's AmFest, Laura Loomer and Milo Yiannopoulos pitted against each other. We saw Republicans clearly increasingly willing to defy Donald Trump when it came to the spending limit, and Republicans potentially willing to continue doing that during Donald Trump's forthcoming term. What we are seeing right now, and what we saw last week with this government shutdown fight, is just a preview of the chaos that is certainly going to come under Donald Trump's second term. Now, if you thought Trump's first term was a mess, and it was, if you think the 6-7 weeks since the November election have been a mess, and they have been, this is really only the beginning. Trump is already making life harder for Republicans. He's openly calling for a shutdown under Biden. Instead of focusing on a smooth transition, he's lobbing grenades into the process with the goal of, as he sees it, helping himself. Republicans chose to negotiate a 3-month funding bill, which means that they are setting themselves up for this exact same fight all over again, except next time with Trump in office, where presumably the downside of the shutdown would be blamed on Trump, at least to some degree. Not only are these Republicans allergic to long-term planning, they believe they can always couch these fights to make the American people angry with Democrats. And sometimes they can, and sometimes that succeeds, but it doesn't really seem to be working lately. And even avoiding a shutdown in the short term, damage continues to be done. Democrats are going to have leverage when the next funding deadline hits, and Republicans are going to be scrambling to juggle spending fights with Trump's agenda. As we've already spoken about, a bunch of the stuff Trump wants to do will be very, very expensive. Trump blew up the deficit his first time around, and we're starting to see at least the suggestion that Republicans are willing to defy Trump when it comes to spending. So the real story here is the growing divide within the Republican Party. MAGA Republicans and non-MAGA Republicans, even Trump himself, already clashing. Within MAGA, various factions of MAGA have subdivided and are now clashing. And now on top of it, we have, as we're calling him, President-elect Elon Musk in the mix, who just helped to tank a bipartisan deal. And this isn't a recipe for complete and utter dysfunction. Now, Musk is an interesting wild card. We've talked about him so much, I don't want to spend a lot of time on him right now. He is cozy with Trump for now. We don't know how long that's going to last. We talked about that. Trump does not like sharing the spotlight. Musk does not like taking orders. The shutdown fight might be the first of many of these ego-based clashes with two very big egos that are unlikely to be able to coexist. Republicans also face an uphill battle with Donald Trump's cabinet nominations. These hearings will drag on for weeks. They will eat up time that Republicans don't really have. And remember that the Senate margin is also relatively thin, so the votes are really going to count. It's not clear how many of these current nominees can even get confirmed. We don't know. But the shutdown fight is not just about funding. It's really a preview of how chaotic governance is going to be in 2025. It's a disorganized Republican Party. It's a divided and subdivided Republican Party. And they are completely unprepared for what's coming. And part of it comes from arrogance. It's the arrogance of, we want everything. We can do whatever we want. There will be no repercussions. There will be no way to hold us accountable. And suddenly you've got these internal fights. And suddenly you've got external skepticism about what they're doing. The DOJ committee, according to new polling, underwater with the public. Elon Musk's presence as the very unelected bureaucrat he and Vivek said they were going to eliminate, not polling particularly well. So if Trump's first term was chaos, this second term is really looking like chaos on steroids, or call it what you will, because Republicans are showing us right now they can't even agree on the basics. When the big ticket items hit the table, when Trump wants to push his mass deportation with the camps and all of the untold expenses that are going to go with it, are Republicans going to be ready to pay what it's going to cost? This is the dysfunction that Republicans have signed themselves up for, and it's not going away anytime soon. I hesitate to even bring this up, but the additional potentially complicating factor, of course, is Trump's health and potential deterioration. He is not a young guy. He is not a particularly healthy guy. And in the midst of all of this, the ego and personality battles and the factions, MAGA versus non-MAGA, MAGA 1 versus MAGA 2, and who's part of which, in the middle of all of this, it all assumes best case scenario for them, Trump is able to continue being president in a serious way. By serious, it's obviously all nonsense, but I mean, in a credible way that he is the president. If that starts to slip, instantly, you are going to see that division explode, both within MAGA and MAGA versus non-MAGA. So as we close the year out, get ready for the inauguration, get ready for Trump's first 100 days. There are a lot of ways in which this could go really poorly for Republicans. And remember that if we zoom out at a systemic level, at a structural level, given that Republicans took the White House from Democrats in 2024, we would assume and expect that if historical trends held, 2026's midterms would be bad for Republicans. That's if things are normal. With everything that is potentially teetering on the brink with this Republican Party, it could be very, very bad, but it's going to depend on us to make it that reality. You can't vapor smoke inside. You're tired of people seeing you put those little pouches in your lip. There is a nicotine alternative that people won't notice. Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Our sponsor Zippix makes the only nicotine toothpick on the planet that is FDA registered. You can use it anywhere: work, restaurants, airplanes, sporting events, after a meal. The toothpicks stay in a convenient little tube that goes in your pocket or on your keychain. It's way more convenient than carrying around a huge can of pouches all day or a whole bunch of gum or whatever the case may be. Zippix nicotine toothpicks come in flavors like peppermint watermelon, sweet wood, cinnamon, whiskey. If you're not a nicotine user, try out their B12 toothpicks with caffeine instead, a quick and easy alternative to coffee. Do your lungs a favor, cut the cigarette smoke, cut the vape juice. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com today. Save 10% with the code PACMAN10 at checkout. Just remember, you must be 21 or older to order. The link is down below.